Hello everyone, I am Alfian and today we are going to solve the HackerRank challenge on the problem solving section called the Angry Professor. And for this particular challenge, we are using the TypeScript as our language to solve. If you want to use something else other than TypeScript, then go ahead. I encourage you to do so. And the description says, a discrete mathematics professor as a class of students. Frustrated with their lack of discipline, the professor decides to cancel a class if fewer than some number of students are present when class starts. Arrival times go from on time, which is arrival time below or equals to 0, which is now, to arrive late, which is arrival time is above the time of the when the class starts, which is above 0. It is considered a late time given the arrival time of each student and a threshold number of attendees. Determine if the class is cancelled. And for this example, we have n number of students, which is 5 students, and k, which is the expecting threshold if whether the class will start or the professor decides to get angry and not attending the class at all. The k is at least 3 students attending the class without being late. So the A right here, which is the array based on 5 students in a form of 5 elements, we have a bunch of elements or number. This one is -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So to read this is the time for the student number 1, which is -2, in other words, not being late. And this one is also on time or arrive early, and this one is arrive on time, and this one is late by 1, or this one, and this one is also late. Since we have 3 students that arrived on time, then the threshold is 3, which is 3 students, then it will return yes, and the class will start from that math teacher. And it says the first 3 students arrive on time and the last 2 were late. So the threshold is 3 students, so the class will go on and return yes. And we have the note of non-positive arrival times, which is the student 1, or the index of the student is below or equals to the on time, indicate that student is arrive early or on time. And any positive arrival times is considered a late arrival. Okay, so without further ado, let's solve this out. We have a function called the Angry Professor that takes 2 parameters. The first one, which is k, in the form of number, and the second parameter, which is a, which is an array of numbers of students that arrive either on time or late. And the expected output is string, either yes or no. Okay, so let's solve this out by creating a for loop to check if the student arrive late or not by iterating over the a parameter, or the a array is in the let I equals 0 as long as I is below a dot length and then I plus plus. And for every iteration we have the a number of students and check if the a of the current element from the number array is higher than 0, which is arrive late, then of course we can continue our iteration. If it is not, and this continue statement right here, we skip after the continue statement, skip continue, and then we skip to the new iteration for loop of the next student instead of going down to our code, which is arrive either early or on time. And then if the elements of the student or the students arrive late, which is above 0, above the on time, then of course we use the continue statement, and the next statement after the continue will be skipped. If we write our code below the arrive either early or on time, then it will be skipped, and the continue will continue to the next iteration of the student array of the arrival time. Then for this, below the comment right here, we have the arrive either early or on time, and we can count this by 1. So use the counter by 1 plus plus, and we can declare our counter, that counter is equals to 0, and that way we count how many students that arrive either early or on time. And then for this return, we can check return using the ternary operator, check if the k or the threshold is equals or above the counter, to check which student arrives, like how many students arrive on time or early. If it is passing the k threshold, then of course we return yes. If it is not, after the colon sign, we return no. And we can run this code to see if it works. The run code, and we have the expected output of yes and no, but our output right here also yes. And this one is arrive on time, and this one arrive early, and the threshold is 2. It should be yes, because 2 students arrive early or on time, and this is the threshold of 2. We have 2 elements. What went wrong here? Okay, so for the explanation right here, we have for the second test case, k equals to, or the threshold equals to, the professor wants at least 2 students in attendance, and there are 2 who arrive on time. The class is not cancelled, but the sample output is no. And for the first test case, k, which is 3, we have the threshold of 3 students. The professor wants at least 3 students in attendance. We have 1, 2, we only 2. We only have 2, but only 2 have arrived on time, 3 and 1, so the class is cancelled. Oh, how about we swap the place of no and yes? Okay, so let's run the code again to see if it works. Arrive on early, also arrive early, but okay, so we're not using the ternary operator. How about we are using the if else? If the counter is above or equals to the k. If it is, then of course we return yes. Check not using the else, by just return no right away to check if this if statement is not being counted, or the counter is not surpassing the k threshold. We can run the code. Okay, so what about we swap the number? Or swap the statement, returning yes. How about we change the counter to be more readable by on time? Okay, so let's run the code again to see if it works. Okay, it is now completed. That is just the common mistake of using the if else. That is the difference between a ternary operator and the traditional if else. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you understand my explanation. If you still don't understand, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you have any better solutions regarding this challenge, tell us what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.